Hi, this is Jeremy Reynolds, and we're with Erin today. Thanks for spending a minute of your time with us, Erin. Erin, I understand some years ago, even though you haven't drunk for 9 years or been drunk, I understand you had an issue with that some years ago. Can you tell our viewers what was going on in your life and what caused you to drink?
Actually, as a teenager, I just kind of dabbled around in it with friends, wanting to be accepted, thinking it was the cool thing to do. And then things just got kind of worse in my childhood, so I started drinking more. Then I went into the military, and in order to cope with things in the military and kind of be cool and fit in there, I drank. And when I got out of the military, I just continued to drink, and it got worse and worse. I was in a marriage that was very bad.
Okay,
That
okay, explain for me and our viewers what does getting worse mean?
I was drinking more, started not being able to fulfill my obligations, all of my responsibilities. I was shunning. Um, just thought that escaping was the best thing to do. Again, I drank more to deal with more problems that I was creating for myself.
So, were you getting blacked out? Were you passing out on the street, on the couch, staying in
Um,
bed?
no, actually, I was what they like to call a functioning alcoholic. I actually got jobs bartending, which is not good for an alcoholic. But I never really passed out. I just got to the point where I would get drunk enough to either get really kind of violent or, just want to lash out at people.
And you said you were also in a bad marriage as well.
Yes.
Did he drink?
Yeah, he was a drinker and he was also into drugs. So he was hardly ever around, and we had children. So I took all that responsibility on myself as well, and I was young, a young mother. And I thought that drinking would help deal with all of those issues, which again, it just made them worse. And addiction progresses. And I realize now that I was in, again, a functioning alcoholic. I was able to pay my bills, able to take care of my children, so I never thought I had a problem. Um, I wasn't drunk under a bridge and kind of thought I was better off than the person that you see drunk sleeping on a corner, and I was actually worse off than they were.
Did you have any influences in your life, religious or otherwise, that were telling you to say, "Hey, Aaron, I think maybe you're drinking a little bit too much"?
At the time, I didn't. I had moved away from God, separated myself from Him. Um, Again, I was never really raised in a religious or a spiritual household. Um, just kind of had to discover God on my own. But
And how do you do that?
I actually gave my life to the Lord about 5 years ago, and He actually took away everything from me, the drinking, the urges. It's just, again, when I went to work at a ministry that I was at, I started losing my faith because of things that were going on there.
But were
And
there precipitating circumstances that caused you to give your life to Jesus?
yeah, it was the drinking and
Okay.
realizing that this wasn't the way God wanted me to live. This isn't the life that He had planned for me. It was actually a better life, one with no stress, with not abusing my body, myself, that way that I was doing.
So fast forward, and you arrived here in Albuquerque.
Yes.
So what happened then?
Um, I actually got a job working again at a ministry, thinking that going to help people was something that would kind of take my mind off of my own problems. And it just, it got to be a very stressful situation. And felt like I needed to drink again because, again, I reverted back to my old ways and forgot that God had taken those things away from me. That's, again, not what He wanted. And I needed to get back on the right track and the right path. Um, I came to Albuquerque again. I was here for about 5 years. I left, went back to Iowa for a few months, and decided I wanted to come back to Albuquerque and give it a try. And I ended up at Joy Junction because of the 12-step program here that is faith based. And I feel I needed to build my relationship again stronger with the Lord.
Tell me how that was going through the 9 months. What did it do for you?
At first, the denial. I don't need this. This isn't for me. I don't
I'm
have
not a
any
drunk,
issues.
right?
Right.
Right.
Exactly. And the recovery program can help you if you're still recovering or thinking about recovering, or you don't have an addiction. It brings you closer to God. It makes you realize God's will for us and the way that he wants us to live and to treat each other and to have a happy life and not an addicted life.
And so you finished that, you did 9 months, and then what happened?
After my 9-month program, I was blessed enough to be hired here, and I'm working now in the front office of Joy Junction, and it's a blessing because I'm able to share my story and my experience with other people, able to help them, that if they're maybe going down that road or they're already down there, to help them come back and help them hopefully, realize what Joy Junction has to offer for them.
What would you say, Erin, in fact, we don't take any government funding of any sort. What would you say to the hundreds of donors who give just a little bit, many folks, just to enable us to keep going?
First, I would say just continue that, because without their blessings, we aren't blessed. I'm from Iowa, so I'll use a interpretation of planting corn. You plant a little bit of a seed, just a little seed, and within that seed, more ears of corn grow. And from that corn, many people can be fed. So with just one little help, one little tiny donation can actually help a lot of people that really need it.
And where do you think you and other people would have been? You have a great chance in the front office to see people, the first time they come here. Where do you think they and you would have been had it not been for Joy Junction?
They'd either be living in a tent somewhere under a bridge, unfortunately, maybe in jail. Extreme cases, they could have been dead from alcohol poisoning or anything. I know in Iowa, there's no shelter like this available in the whole state. So it's a great thing. They have one place to go, and it is not faith-based. It doesn't bring you close to God. It doesn't show you his love. It's just a recovery program. So
that's good, but only does half the story, only does half what's needed, right?
Correct.
Okay, so if you could have one wish, what would it be?
That people just can experience what Joy Junction is, that Joy Junction's allowed to go on with their expansion, because I think New Mexico needs a place like Joy Junction to help people who, again, are addicts or recovering or just having a really hard time. And my wish would be that Joy Junction could continue.
That's good. Well, let's give you 2 wishes. That was a wish for us. What about a wish for you and your husband?
Well, for me and my husband, to continue down the road that we're on. Hopefully, that we're able to, now that I have a job here, that we're able to actually fulfill the transitional living scheme, that we can get out and, be on our own again and be able to just share the love that we've experienced and tell our story to others.
Awesome. Thank you. And anything you want to tell us, our viewers, I haven't asked you?
No, again, just that everything that they do and they donate for us is a true blessing for us.
Awesome. Thank you, Erin, for spending a few minutes with us.
Thank you.
Okay.